Of years here, my favorite of all, spooky season.
The jack-o'-lantern. The chocolate.
Come on, Charlie. Where's your Halloween spirit? When you put on a costume, you can be anything.
Pip, that's what's saying.
It is time for a spooky game review. Today, I'm going to review a game that's about taking care of animals, but with the thing sprinkled in there. The game is Zoochosis is an indie game by Studio Clapperheads. It is a first-person body cam horror simulation game where you play as a man named Paul.
Hi, I'm Paul.
Paul was hired for this very secret but lucrative job as a zookeeper. There's just one catch. There are infected animals in this zoo. It is Paul's job to cure these infected animals and make sure the infection doesn't break loose. I saw the trailer for this game and thought the premise was genius. Mwah, chef's kiss. The concept is just freaking awesome. You have to do various tasks like cooking for the animals, making sure they aren't sick, measuring their body temperatures, collecting doo-doo samples, and getting syringes for some blood work. The gameplay loop of doing this process over and over again can scratch that itch in your brain, and I know some people will know what I'm talking about. The game also has really solid graphics, and the designs of the mutated animals are all really cool and unique. Not to mention that the sound design is great, really good stuff. There's also a bit of a story here, and I thought it was a pretty darn neat touch. You can get to uncover some secrets about the place you're working at, and there are some small twists and turns here and there. Unfortunately, that is where my praises for the game run thin. There is voice acting, and it's not the best. There's a part where Paul reacts to something, like some weird shit, and I won't go into spoilers, but he sees something quite disturbing, and instead of having a normal reaction like this, he just reacts like this. There could have been more work on how Paul reacted to certain things, but he's just completely unfazed and it takes away from the character. But I guess in a way, him reacting like that makes it kind of funny. I don't know. Look at it as you will. That gameplay loop I was talking about earlier also gets a bit repetitive after taking care of the first few animals. I also was not a big fan of the cooking mechanic. That shit was annoying and not very fun. I wish they made the cooking something different for each dish you had to make for different animals, so it didn't get so tedious and you don't have to make those exact measurements when cutting the food. The game isn't too big. It only took me a couple hours to get all the endings, which is another cool thing. I like when there are multiple endings. And the game is not too expensive. I believe you can get it on Steam for $25. I still recommend it because I really wanted to see games like these succeed, but there is definitely stuff to improve upon here. But if you're a fan of horror, do give this one a peek. A boo!